Thank you for joining us. This session is all about the new Accudemia dashboard. And let's go ahead and start. Just a few notes before we begin. We are recording this webinar and we will send you a link to the recording once it's posted. Everyone will be muted during the webinar, but if you have any questions, please use the question box, the same one we have used for the icebreaker. And if your GoToWebinar control panel is not open, click on that red arrow there. That will make it open. And if you look at the bottom, there's a tab that says question. Click to expand that, and then you'll see a white box there that you can type your questions in. And you could even click on the box with the slash there on the right side to maximize that if you need to. So that's how we will learn about your questions, and towards the end of the webinar, we will answer them. So yeah, feel free to use that box. And your presenters today, my name is Mon Nasser. I am the CEO of Enginerica and the founder from almost 25 years ago. We also have with us Nick Armstrong, which actually approaching his 10 years with Enginerica. He's our senior support person. And we have Jorge Rodriguez. Jorge is also another one of our great support people that you probably already dealt with. Welcome all. And some quick announcements since you are Accudemia users. We usually have a weekly session for Accudemia that you can join about, it has two sections. One is TikTok, which Nick or Jorge will show you something about the software. And the other one is we host one of you to speak how they use Accudemia. Now, due to the summer semester, we're gonna take that to a monthly schedule, and the next one will be on June 14th. Now, if you've missed any of those, you can see all of them online. We record them and we post them. So you can view the past Tech Talks on this link, and you don't have to worry about typing all that. Nick is gonna drop it off in the chat box. The chat box is the one that's like glowing right now, the one with the circle with the 3 dots. If you click on that, you'll see the chat, and you will see the link to the TikToks. And also, we have been recording the Spotlight, which is the user spotlight is basically an administrator in one of your centers speaking about how they use Accudemia. And you're welcome to be our spotlight guest for a future one. If you're interested in that, just let us know. And you can find all the past spotlights recordings on the link that you see there, and Nick will drop that as well. The next announcement is about the Keynote Webinar. If you haven't seen those, you really should check them out. Basically, we have a guest speaker who specializes in an area of interest. Those speakers are usually center administrators like yourselves, and they will talk about a topic of interest. And the next Keynote Webinar will be coming up on June 2nd. It's about holistic strategies for meeting the needs of students in 22 and beyond. And that's by Julie Loppacher from the University of Southern California. There's a registration link. It's all free webinars, by the way. And if you happen to have missed some of the great webinars we have, these are monthly webinars, you can go to this link and you'll be able to see all of them. We will also drop that link for you, and we also have summaries of these webinars, of the Tech Talks, of the Spotlights, the corners. We have that in our blog site, and you can visit that on our website as well. Okay. All right.
Sorry, I'm just posting the links right now for that last one.
Okay. Thank you, Nick. Okay, so the question might be, we have a big thing going on today, which is the dashboard. So what is coming after the dashboard? And we would like to tell you that we want you to decide. So tell us what's important for you. We are actually working on a survey that we will send to all the users, and it will ask you which features and what improvements you would like to see in the software, or some suggestions we've got from other users, and you can actually just vote on those and tell us what you like, and we will use that to decide on the next major improvement to the software, and you can actually suggest your own too. We'll have an open box for you to do that. So look out for the survey. It will come out to you very soon, in the next few days. Okay. And we will start now with the dashboard. The first question is, why a dashboard? Why did we add a dashboard? Well, the dashboard will make it really easy for you to see what's going on at your center without having to dig through the software menus. On your home page, you will see key metrics, such as how many students are signed in, how many appointments you have today, how many cancellations did you have, how many no-shows, how many appointments have occurred, and how many are left to do. So you will see all that from there, and you will see a few other things. You will see the upcoming appointments, you see people who are signed in, you will be able to see the tutors who are there, and there's a whole bunch of things that you need to do that you can access. And these are things that you use day to day, and they'll be right there at your fingertips. Okay. These information will be in real time. Okay, so you will be able to see that live. And when you get used to using a dashboard, which is really a data board, it will help you be more data driven in improving your services. So in summary, it will help you streamline the usage of the software. It'll help you streamline the services of your center. All right. A little bit about the dashboard. It consists of 9 widgets. A widget is a functionality. It's a functionality unit, basically. It will do something specific. Now, the nice thing is that you will be able to select which widgets to see, okay? And you can customize that per role. So you could say the system administrators can see these widgets, while my staff, which are tutors or advisors, will see these widgets. And not only that, but you can control the order of these widgets. So the ones that you use most, you can put them at the top, for example. And by the way, we believe that the widgets are great. We spent 6 months almost developing the control panel, but our work is not done with this release. We actually will be looking for your feedback to learn how we can improve these widgets so they work even better for you. Okay. All right, and you might be asking, how much are you charging us for these widgets and how much for the dashboard? And the answer is, there's no charge. It's going to be included in your Accudemia software. And actually, it will be available in the institutional licenses of Accudemia, which is the majority of you have. If you are a small central license, don't despair. You will actually have that widget for at least 1 semester. It'll be there for you to use. And if you like it, actually, and you want to use it, all you need to do is upgrade your license and you'll have it back. All right. So when will you see this in your software? Well, it's coming up actually the day after tomorrow, or this weekend. So we will be updating Accudemia and releasing the new dashboard. So when you come next week and you launch your software, it'll be right there waiting for you. Okay. All right, so we will dive into more details with the dashboard, and we'll have Accudemia. We will have Nick take you through that. Nick?
Thanks, Mon. All right, so what is all included? So we have so many more widgets that are available, and as Mon was pointing out, you can choose who has access to what, whether that be the student or the tutor role, or you as admins maybe don't want to have everything shown to everyone. But from all these different options, you have your college and center news or announcements, the appointments and messages section, There's a newly designed appointments viewer, similar to the daily viewer, a little different. We'll go into the details later. You can now see it like a quick view of the manage center screen, so you'll know who's exactly in your center, who may have just recently signed out, or if they're waiting in line. You can also see a shortened version of the session logs where it's just today's. So you'll know exactly what tutors are signed in for the day and what students are signed in, as well as what they're, what you've come used to in the session logs, what services and courses they're for. We also have the Google Calendar that's shared on the account. So if you have a shared calendar and you want to share that for your center or for your college, that's going to be available to drop in as a widget. Also the surveys and referrals. So this is mainly an admin kind of section, but those surveys and referrals could be started or stopped from the home page. So whenever you're logging in, you can go ahead and start and stop those surveys, as well as view some results. We also have the referrals, where if there's any new referrals that have come in, those are going to be right there sitting for you at the top of the screen. And then finally, we have a key performance indicators and charts section. So this is going to show you the semester totals week by week, hour by hour, throughout the semester, where you're at, what your progress is doing compared to maybe last semester. So you're going to see like the daily, weekly, monthly, or even over the entirety of the semester. So first, just kind of highlighting our news and announcements. This is something that you guys had, but we did make a little bit of changes to it. So now there's a teaser section, and the teaser section is just going to be maybe like the first part of the article that you want to have out there, and then there's going to be a button to view the full announcement. And we did make that the college news separate from the center news. So if you have multiple centers, it'll actually have a side scroll bar where it's going through each of the centers news. The upcoming appointments and messages section. So this part is pretty similar to what we had before, but this is where you'd be able to see any messages that you received. Maybe you sent out a bulk message to all your students, or maybe to all your tutors. So any kind of replies to that, you have like access to your inbox right there. And then the upcoming appointments, this is very helpful for like your students and tutors that, if they're having like virtual sessions, for instance, there's going to be a join session button. You can also create a new appointment from there. So it's very helpful for those types of users, and you'll get to control exactly who sees this. Now, this is our appointments viewer, and if you're familiar with the daily viewer, this is pretty similar to what you're used to seeing. It's a list of all your tutors and what hours of the day they're available. We have this now where you can view this, and we'll see this later, but the either all of today's availability, or you can see for the week. So on there, you'll see we'll be able to change that, but we have 3 new views. So we have the new by date. So now we're seeing on the list there each date for about a week, I think it is, and then each hour of those days, and seeing if we have availability. And you'll even have numbers, like I know it's kind of small, but to see how many appointments are booked with those staff for those times. And you can mouse over those to kind of get more details. We also have it by service, so you know if your coverage is good in the center for service, and also for the course or subject area. So you're going to be able to see that as well if you have staff throughout the day for that. Next is the Manage Center widget, and in this widget you have your traditional things like the waiting line to see who's waiting, who's currently signed in, and who recently signed out. It is going to be a limited view, so there is a view all where you can kind of see everything, but this is going to show the most recent sign-ins or sign-outs, and the most people that have been waiting the longest there. We also have a chart for the last month, so you can kind of see week by week your visits data. And it's kind of neat because you could see like if there was a spike or whatever, maybe you realize, oh yeah, that was right before finals and we had you know, a lot more people coming in the center. Next is today's session logs. So like I said, this is a minimized view of the session logs. So all the information you're used to kind of seeing, but just to see today's pretty quickly. You can also see the tutors that are there. And if I was looking at this as like a tutor myself, I could quickly click on this little comments icon and go ahead and add some comments to that session so I don't have to dig in the software. It's right there when I log in. Next is the Google Shared Calendar. So we've had this feature, but this is something you can choose like what audience sees this as well. So it may be something that you share with just your staff and take away from the students. It could be something that you do want the students to see. So you have that on their home panel as well. Next, we have our surveys and referrals. And like I said, you could start and stop these surveys. We also have some other items that you're used to. So like if you're in the surveys, you can actually preview the survey before maybe starting it. If like it was stopped, maybe you were working on it. You can also clone a survey from here. Now, when you go to the clone, it does take you actually to the surveys section because there's going to be a lot more things that the actual sections will offer you. But this is just kind of like a quick, you know, panel that you can see what you have going on right now and maybe what you want to get going as far as your surveys. And then the referrals, I'm kind of hidden now behind this, but okay, there it is. But you can see on there who the instructor was that referred the student over, and there are some action buttons as well to create a follow-up person or even close out those referrals if you're no longer needing them. Excuse me. So now we get to the big one here, the key performance indicators and charts. This is a lot of data that you're used to seeing maybe in reports only. So it's really nice to be able to kind of, when you come in the system, you can open that section up and see this data right away. You know, in this, for instance, we're looking at just one view, but each one of these buttons has a new type of way that, you know, maybe you've only seen in a report before, and you can change it. It's like able to, you know, you can change to a more detailed view, a stacked view, or view the percentages, as well as the different types of the charts. And we'll see that here shortly. And they have the key performance indicators that actually will show up on both sides of the screen. And it'll show you things about today, and as well as things about the semester on the other side. Now, how do you enable these? You're going to go into the administration control panel, and it's going to be under appearance and themes. Once you get there, you're going to leave it at the college level and view settings. So you'll see each one of these things you can control the visibility. Now, there are certain ones that we've taken out because it doesn't make any sense for that role. But as far as the ones that we left, you can choose whether or not they should see those. And just keep in mind too that if I'm a student looking at this information, it's going to be filtered on my view. In other words, I'm only going to see things that are directly related to me. And if I'm a tutor, usually those are going to be the same. It's basically, you know, filtering on what they should see. And then of course for system admins, we have all the options available, and you can change the order in which they appear on that page as well. Additionally, we have like a new logo. So you always had the ability to add your college logo to the account, which is this first option. And now we have an option where you can add that to that home page. Some people may leave this alone and just have the university name at the top, and then maybe just have the homepage logo, or you can do a combination of both, and we'll see what that looks like here shortly. So now I think it's time to check it out, and we have Jorge Rodriguez with us, and he's going to go ahead and jump on and show us the live preview.
Hello, thank you, Nick, for the presentation, and thank you, Mon. Today, this is a really exciting time for Accudemia because we have been working really hard to make it really better. We have to say goodbye to boring homepage. There's not going to be more simple homepage no more. So I would like to, can you please see my screen? Can you see my Accudemia?
Yeah,
okay,
it's good.
perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, so today I actually have the honor to show these options to you. And again, this has been a work of many months and many people. So basically, if you see here, there's nothing connecting this new improved homepage with the old one. As Nick was saying here, you can see some friendly faces like the announcements and the news, but everything has been put together in a way like a puzzle where you can have a lot of information to your right there in your fingertips. And not only that, but you can customize what exactly you want to show to each one of the roles from your system. So I'm going to go there first because I need to show you how to enable these really cool widgets that we have now. If you go to your administration, obviously you need to be an administrator for that, administration control panel. Then you will have these appearances and themes module. If you click there and you leave it at the school or the school scope, you will see that you have access. Nick was saying just now about how you can enter your logo, and you can also put your name, the university name in your homepage. So this is where you can select that. You can just click choose file, and then any of your normal PNG, JPEGs, any type of formatting that is normal for images will be uploaded. And if you go down here, this is where the magic happens. So what you see on the rows, as Nick was explaining, is everyone, each and every one of those widgets. And what you have in your columns is every role in Accudemia. Please remember that if you can have multiple roles in Accudemia. So if you have more than one role, let's say that you are a tutor, but you are also a student, then you can see both options in Accudemia, right? So actually, in order to show everything, I have enabled all the options in my Accudemia, but probably you want to double check here if it is a good thing that, for example, the students can see the manage center screen. It's up to you to decide. And the default, you see the sorting order on the right, you can also change that too. So if you want to see the news first and then the appointments, or if you want to see the calendar first, it's up to you. So basically, when you're complete the selections, and as Nick was saying, by the way, you will see that there are some checkboxes that are missing, and it is like that because we don't want some of the roles to have access to some of the widgets because they are not related to what typically they can do. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as is. Please do the changes as you want, and then change the sorting order, and then make sure to save it, and then you will have access to the main page. Now, what makes this homepage really cool? If you notice up here, all the widgets are going to be organized in that sorting order. But not only that, if you notice here, there's going to be a drop-down list where if you leave it at the school scope right there, then the information that you see here is going to be related to the scope of the school. Remember that, for example, for the news, you can have some HTML news for the school as a whole, and you can have customized news for each and every one of those centers, right? For example, if I move to the Student Success Center, then you will see that I have some news that are specific for that center, is customized to that center. So please make sure, and also please make sure that if you're selecting the school scope, you will not see some things like, for example, the ones that are related, like the appointments. You will have to select an actual center like this Student Success in order to see the actual appointments that are going to take place during the day, and the Manage Center too. Okay, so some of the widgets are going to be linked to that selection you made there. Some of them are not going to be related to that selection. And the first thing that I'm going to show right here is what typically you will have found all this in the traffic analysis report, which actually was more than one report. It was several reports that you could download, and you can still do that in Accudemia. But if you open that, you will have a lot of information right there, as Nick was saying, and all that information, actually, you can choose the view if you want to see, instead of details, you want to see it stacked up, which is the way that I like to see it, or if you want to see in percentage, it's up to you. But as you can see, and I can show you, for example, I'm going to pick the last one of these options. You will see in this semester what is the average session time, for example. I can see that on Thursday, the sessions typically last longer than on Tuesday, And then if you go, for example, the visit by hour in our sandbox, which is kind of funny, 4 to 5 a.m. is looks like is the more is where the people are having the more activities. So each and every one of those is going to give you an option. And for example, actually, I wanted to show you this because this is really nice, and this is also new. I'm sorry. If you go to the heat map, you will see from for the last year how many sessions you had for specific months and days of the month. Okay. So right there, you can see that you had 11 on that day, 12 on the other day. So it can give you a clue on how much sessions, how many sessions you're having throughout the year. And as for example, right here and on the left, you can see some information about today. For example, there is one visit taking place right now. There is someone waiting at the waiting line, and there are 2 tutors that are assigned in. So you have a lot of information right here. And I would encourage you to click on each and every one of these options to see how much, what is the value, which is really important in academia. Right here, if you notice, it's the same thing. The college news is continuing being the same. It's just that now it's in a different panel. So we are using we're using the space in a really better way than what it used to be. Now, if I go down, you will see, for example, this user. The administrator is going to see the messages that he's getting right here, and that is going to happen for every user that logs in. They are going to see their messages, and they can compose. Actually, something else that is really nice about these widgets is that you have a lot of action buttons right there in the widget. So, for example, right there, not only you see the messages and you can click on them. For example, right here, let's see what it says. Somebody is talking about scheduling a tutoring session on this message. But not only that, but I can click and I can compose a message from right here. So instead of going what it used to take 5 or 6 clicks, now is 2 clicks away from the widget, which is really nice. And I'm going to show you the different widgets because some of them have many action buttons that you can use right away. Okay, so if I go down, you will see that this is really nice. We used to see this in the daily viewer. Here in the center attendance daily viewer, it used to look similar to this, but this one is even nicer than what you can find there. Now, right here, if you notice, you will have this every single block you see there is a calendar block, and this is the list of tutors that I have. And if you notice in those blocks, if you hover over it, you will see, for example, that there's a student, Margaret, that actually had a session this morning at 8 a.m. with Chris. And that way you can see who's going to be available. Actually, if you notice, it is color coded, so I can see who is available, who's not available, and how many appointments we have scheduled for the day, which is really nice because if I am the head of the center, I will know what is the manpower that I have, if I need to bring somebody else, if I am really busy, and a lot of information that I can see there. So as you can see, this red means that this student is not available, the green that it is available, and the gray is that it's not working. So coming down, because we have many things to show, you can see that now the Manage Center is not, you can always go to the Center Attendance Manage Center screen right here, but now it is embedded in the widget in the home page. And this is really good because you have access to that information right away. It's so simple, it's right there, and now I can see that Jose, one of my students, is waiting in line, that Jonathan is having a session, and nobody has recently signed up. So I can see that right away. And to the right, I can see how many sessions I'm having during these days. So if you can see right here, I can see that on the 19th, which is today, I have had many visits. On the 14th, for example, there was nothing. On the 15th, please remember that this is a sandbox. So in your case, it's going to look a lot better because you have many sessions taking place probably. So you're going to see during this month how the sessions are taking place easily, so you know how is the center working during these last few months. So coming down, you can see the session logs. In this case, please remember that this is an administrator. That is why you see how Jonathan and Albert, 2 students that had sessions today. Actually, Jonathan is already signed in. You can see the status right there. So they can see, the administrator, the session logs for the day completely. I'm going to show you later when I sign in with the tutor credentials that they can only have access to their own session logs. the same for the student. I'm going to show all that, but as you can see right there, I have access to the session log, and I can even, if you notice down here, I have access to the commenting on the session log itself. So if there was any comment from a tutor about how the session took place or something, I could click this and I will be able to see right away how the session went. If there was an issue, that maybe I need to call the tutor and see what happened. So there is a lot of valuable information. And if you notice up here, not only I can see the session log, but I can create a session log from right here. I don't need to go to the center attendance session log feature. I can click it right here, and I could click view all, and basically that is going to take me to the full page of the session log where I can edit some of them, delete some of them, create new ones, do the filtering, everything that I could do before, but now I can do a lot of things from this homepage widgets right away. Now the calendar stays the same. This is a really nice feature. Actually, I would encourage you to use it because it gives you a lot of information to you and your staff about who is going to be available, who is having some sessions. So if you do have a calendar that you can share with the main activities that are taking place in the center or the school, please be my guest and use it. And you can also choose, if you notice on the top right, that you can choose the week instead of the month. So there is a lot of customizations you can do. You can click if you want to see some previous month or something like that, previous weeks, you can do that too. Okay, so coming down, this is something really nice, the referrals, just because you have to navigate really a lot to go to the referrals right here you see class attendance referrals, and now you have everything right there. And look how easy it is for the administrator or for an instructor that is doing a referral to check right away what is the status of my referrals and whether I need to take action or not. And I want you to notice that not only I can see that, for example, the instructor George, and we're going to log in with George in a minute, he has a referral that just is closed now. And for example, there is one that is requiring attention. If you notice, this red status means that I need to do something about it. And if you notice next to this, to the information about the referral, I can see, you see this eye there, I could click there and I can actually see what is the referral about. So what is taking place, what is going on, that this is in red, maybe I need to do a follow-up, maybe I need to take some action. And not only that, but I can click right here and I could close a referral. Let's say that I met with a student, they are not having issues no more, they are they are doing great, so I could close the referral right away from the widgets. And I'm going to show you how it looks from the perspective of the instructor in a few minutes. So coming down here, I also have access, and remember again, for this widget, if I click this new referral, I could create one right away. And if I click view all, I could go to the list of referrals to take some actions in one of the referrals. And now, the last but not least, I have the surveys, which again, it was in a different menu option, and now everything is condensed in this beautiful homepage. And now I can see the surveys, the ones that are running, like this one right here. You see the running button right there. I could see the survey. I could have a preview, which is really nice. For example, if I want to know what exactly is that survey about, I could click this icon right here, and I can say, oh, this is what's being asked. They are asking about the visit today, the subject. I could have a clue on what, because remember that somebody else could have created the survey, so I could go there and take a look at it, or I could clone it. If I want to create a survey that is really similar, I don't want to start from scratch, I could clone this survey and then create a new one and then do the changes to the new one. And then again to the right, maybe you see this survey that is stopped. I could click here, this icon on the right, and I could start that survey, and everything from the homepage, which is really, really nice, because remember that every action that I have been talking here, every major feature is in a different spot in Accudemia. So for example, referrals is right here in the class menu. If I want to do surveys, I need to go to the administration menu, click survey. You see how many clicks, how much time I am going to be wasting if I do this route. While if I go here, I can do a lot of actions. I can see a lot of information right there, which is really nice. So after I have shown this, I would like for you to show you too what is the rest of the roles in Accudemia are going to see in that dashboard. Remember that I enabled every widget for the rest of the roles. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to log out with the administrator, and I'm going to be using a credential for a tutor. So you see what is different for the tutor right there. Remember that this is customizable. In this case, they have access to all the widgets. And if you notice right away, you can see by me scrolling on the right that there is a lot less options, which makes a lot of sense. For example, there is no referral option in the tutor. There is some options that are not applicable to tutors. Even if you select everything, they are going to see a lot less options. Why? Because tutors in Accudemia, remember that that role is based on helping students. So those tutors are going to be helping during the appointments, during the walk-in sessions, so they don't need they have nothing to do with referrals or other modules in Accudemia. So if you see right here, you can see that in this case, you remember for the appointment and messages panel, you see this is the case. He's seeing this appointment right here because this tutor is going to have an appointment with Jonathan at 3:30 p.m. So everything here is going to be customized to the actual user that is logged in at that time in Accudemia. Now, if I go down, you see that now I'm not seeing every tutor. I'm just seeing this tutor specifically. So Fernando, you see he had an appointment at 9 a.m. He had another one at 11 a.m. and he's going to have one at 3:30. So if I am a tutor, I can sign into Accudemia. I can take advantage of the dashboard and I can see exactly what are my appointments, what is my availability. I can see a lot of information. And actually, if you provide access to the Manage Center screen, if that is okay, if you want to provide that information to your tutors, then they could see, who is waiting in line, who is having a session. It's up to you if you want to provide this access, okay? Now, the same way as I was explaining, you see they have access to the session logs of their own, and then they have access to the calendar, which is the same way as everybody else. Now, I would like to move quickly to another, which is the instructor, so you see the difference. For example, if I log out and I bring my dear friend right here, if I bring my dear friend George, he's an instructor, and I want you to notice that the same way as any user, he has access to the messages. There is no appointment for him because he's an instructor, so he doesn't see that. But looking under here, because I wanted to show you the referrals. Now, in this case, look how George has been referring some of the students. One of them is going to be Albert. So Albert is a student that is having some difficulties, and George has created a referral. Now, by simply logging to Accudemia, if I am this instructor, I can see the status of that referral, and I can see, for example, right away that I need to do a follow-up on this specific referral. And if I click here, I can see actually what is taking place, why that referral was created if I don't remember, and what exactly is what I need to do. For example, if I go here, I can say, for example, if I want to do a follow-up, I can say, for example, we had a meeting and he's doing better. Let's say that this is a follow-up, and then, oh, I didn't save it, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put test. So you see, I click update, and now I have a new follow-up action. So everybody can see what I'm doing to help Albert to get better because he's having some difficulties. So now from the home page right there, you can see, and actually, if you notice, I can see that if there is one that is in red, like the one that I was showing, I know that I have to take action. And I see that without going to the class referral menu, I see it right away. So I'm not gonna skip that because I can see it that is in red, that I need to do something about it. So the information is accessible, is right there, is really simple. So now, last but not least, I'm gonna bring my dear friend Albert, the student that was having some issues, and now is doing a lot better. I'm gonna sign in with his credentials. And for example, this is what a typical student would see if you allow all the widgets that they have access to. Now you see right there, and now he's having an appointment with me actually at 4 p.m. and he's having another appointment at 8 a.m. in 5 days. Why? Because as you can see, he was having issues. They create a referral with him. A tutor approached Albert, and now they are helping Albert to get back on his feet. So now this is the appointment for Albert. You see, I got some messages where somebody's saying, oh, thank you for meeting with me yesterday. I'm pleased that you're coming. So basically, he's getting messages of support because they are helping him to succeed. And now I have access to all this, to his appointment. I have access, by the way, to the session log. I was telling you earlier that this is a customized type of information. Remember, you see, as you can see right there, this is only for Albert, so he cannot see session log for other students, but he can see that, let's say, for example, you see he came in the morning, he had a walk-in session, and then earlier than that, he had an appointment, so he can see all the session logs, and he has access to the calendar too. So all the customizations you can do based on the widget is going to be based on the user and on the user role, so everybody's going to have a fair chance to see information that is important, that is right there, and that is easy to get. So no more clicking to the different features to see everything. They have access to all this, and that is why we are so proud of this, and that is why we want to know what you think about this, and we want to learn the feedback that you have, because you, as a user, have contributed to make Accudemia great, and we are really happy for that. So that is all that I had for today. There's a lot that we can talk about this. This is really exciting, but for now, we think that we have covered a lot of ground. If you have any questions, please be my guest. I'm more than happy to assist. And if you exit now and you want to learn more about this, you can always contact support@accudemia.com, and we are always going to be there for you. Okay?
Thank you very much. It's actually really amazing features. I think it's a game changer for a lot of people. Okay, so we look at some of these questions here. Somebody's asking, if I am a small center user, what will happen to the dashboard after the semester? Well, we mentioned you'll have it for at least a semester. After the semester is over, you'll go back to your current homepage. Okay, let's see what else. Somebody's asking if there are session logs shown in the widget for the day or for the week or for the term. What's the timeline of the session logs? Nick, do you know?
Sorry, I was answering the chats, and
Yes.
but yeah, so it's actually today's. So it's just the day's session log, so that you can see just what's happening right now. Because there is a link to view all of them. So like, if you wanted to actually get more than just today's visits, then you'll jump over and click that view all. But yeah, so it's just the day's logs.
Excellent, yes. And do keep in mind that the dashboard is showing you data that you already have in other screens. So if you want to see the session logs for a different day, you can just click to open the regular session log screen and you'll be able to view it normally. So the dashboard is just a snapshot, a current snapshot that makes this information available at your fingertips. Okay.
I just want to remind everybody we are going to be sending this out as a link to the recording after the session.
Yeah, that's good, because there's a question about that. Yes, this is being recorded and we will send you the link to the recording.
Go ahead.
There's a question about the messaging. Is that a new feature? Actually, it existed there, but maybe it wasn't too visible. And that's the nice thing about the dashboard. It makes a lot of these features really visible, so you can easily see them.
Yeah, you can actually enable it. It's under administration, control panel, user accounts, and then communications. So it's like 4 menu items deep. But once you get in that communication section, you would just check the enable messaging option.
Yes. A follow-up question on the session logs. Is the student going to be able to see the session logs? And actually, it's a very good question. But no, because in the software itself, the session logs are private to the staff. And so when you look at the dashboard from a student point of view, you should not be able to see the session logs.
Right. I mean, they'll see, I think we have it where it filters on just their things, but like as far as like comments that were made on the session and things, it's not going to be viewable by the student. And there's actually a way to disable that too. Like if you don't want your students to see session logs, you would disable the homepage widget, but also there's an option to disable it from the student role altogether. So
Yeah, that is the great thing. That is highly customizable. So it's up to you to decide what they can see and how. So if you disable it, they won't see it. If you want to allow it, so they see it, they will see only their own session logs and not the comments that were made by the tutor or staff.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions? All right, I believe that is it. If we didn't get to your questions, we will message you privately or email you with the replies. If you think of other questions, just feel free to email us. As mentioned before, you will have this dashboard on your computer coming next week. So we look forward to hearing how you like it and how it goes. And we actually have a survey. So when you exit this GoToWebinar screen, you will have a very quick survey. I think it's 4 questions, just asking you about what you think about the dashboard so far. And if nothing else, we will go ahead and sign off for the day. Thank you, folks, for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you so much.
thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.